Have you ever wondered about the history of MacGyver? In the vast landscape of television heroes, there's one man who never needed superpowers, high-tech weapons, or a fleet of support agents to save the day. All he needed was a paperclip, a matchstick, and a mind as sharp as the knife in his pocket. Say hello to Angus MacGyver, the man who could defuse a nuclear bomb with a shoelace and fix a helicopter using bubblegum and a wrench. This is the story of MacGyver, the TV icon, the cultural phenomenon, and the man whose name became a verb. Welcome to History Wonder. MacGyver debuted on September 29, 1985 on ABC. The show was the brainchild of Lee David Zlotoff, who envisioned a hero who solved problems not with violence, but with intelligence and ingenuity. At a time when the airwaves were dominated by gun-toting tough guys like Rambo, MacGyver was a breath of fresh air, a pacifist who abhorred guns and solved conflicts through science, logic, and a little creative tinkering. The show starred Richard Dean Anderson as the titular character, a former bomb technician turned secret agent working for the fictional Phoenix Foundation. Anderson brought a charm and humility to the role that made MacGyver not only believable but beloved. With his feathered hair, leather jacket, and disarming smile, MacGyver became an unlikely heartthrob. He even performed many of his own stunts, bringing an added authenticity to the high-stakes adventures. MacGyver's character was defined by a few unwavering principles. He hated guns and avoided violence whenever possible. He relied on scientific knowledge, environmental awareness, and lateral thinking. He always carried a Swiss Army knife, duct tape, and a roll of string. He had a Boy Scout-like moral code and a can-do attitude. This formula proved irresistible to audiences, especially parents who appreciated a hero who won battles with brains, not brawn. MacGyver quickly became a pop culture staple. Beyond his gadgets, his ability to remain calm under pressure and his empathy for others made him a role model that transcended generations. For 7 seasons, MacGyver thrilled audiences with outlandish escapes, makeshift inventions, and Cold War espionage. The show was a procedural, but with a twist. Every episode featured at least 1 or 2 moments where MacGyver could craft a life-saving contraption from everyday items. Stuck in a burning building? No problem. MacGyver creates a hang glider from a tarp and some broomsticks. Trapped in a mine? He uses an old radio to build a crude metal detector. Locked in a freezer? He short-circuits a thermostat to escape. The term MacGyverism entered the vernacular, defined loosely as any improvised solution using limited resources and an encyclopedic knowledge of physics and chemistry. The writers even hired scientists to vet some of the inventions, although the show often took creative liberties for dramatic effect. In truth, many of MacGyver's solutions wouldn't work in real life, but that didn't matter. The idea that thinking outside the box could save lives was powerful enough. Science was the real superpower. MacGyver's home base was the Phoenix Foundation, a think tank and global problem-solving organization. It provided him with missions ranging from thwarting arms dealers to rescuing scientists to dismantling corrupt regimes. The Phoenix Foundation served as a symbol of international cooperation and nonviolent intervention, echoing MacGyver's own beliefs. He wasn't alone in these endeavors. Pete Thornton, played by Dana Clare, was Mac's boss and best friend. Their friendship was a pillar of the show, and Claire's real-life battle with glaucoma was incorporated into the storyline with compassion. Jack Dalton, the lovable con-man pilot, frequently dragged Mac into wild escapades. His over-the-top schemes contrasted with MacGyver's logic. Nikki Carpenter, a brief but impactful addition, added both romantic tension and a strong female presence. One notable villain was Murdoch, played by Michael Desbarres, a master of disguise and assassination who became MacGyver's arch-enemy. Murdoch had a flair for drama, usually dying in spectacular fashion, only to return in later episodes. Scarred but more determined, his theatrical entrances and maniacal plans gave the show some of its most memorable moments. As MacGyver climbed the ratings charts, its cultural influence exploded. Children idolized him. Teachers used the show to get students excited about science. Survivalists appreciated his resourcefulness. Even the U.S. military reportedly used episodes for training discussions on problem solving. The term MacGyver became part of the American lexicon. It entered the Oxford English Dictionary in 2015 as a verb. To MacGyver something means to make or repair something in an improvised or inventive way. That kind of linguistic immortality is rare and powerful. The show inspired a line of action figures and Swiss Army knife promotions. It inspired science kits for kids. It inspired parodies on Saturday Night Live. Ever heard of MacGyver? And it inspired countless references across shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, Breaking Bad, and Stranger Things. Even Mythbusters took on some of MacGyver's legendary fixes. Spoiler, not all of them worked, but they were wildly entertaining to test. The show's blend of education and adventure made it a stealthy science ambassador. As the show approached its 7th season, ratings began to wane a bit. The television landscape was changing, and the era of earnest, non-violent heroes gave way to glitter anti-heroes. MacGyver ended in 1992 with a finale that revealed MacGyver had a son, a subplot left unexplored due to the abrupt ending. However, MacGyver wasn't gone for good. 2 made-for-TV movies followed: MacGyver, The Lost Treasure of Atlantis in 1994, and MacGyver Trail to Doomsday also in 1994. These took MacGyver to Europe and had more of a globe-trotting Indiana Jones feel. Though not critically acclaimed, they satisfied fans longing for more duct tape magic. Rumors of a big screen adaptation have circulated for years, but none have materialized. In 2016, CBS launched a reboot of MacGyver with Lucas Till stepping into the iconic role. This version reimagined the character as a younger, tech-savvy operative in a more fast-paced, team-based format. The reboot modernized the formula. Instead of Cold War espionage, the threats were cyber-terrorism, rogue AI, and high-tech weapons. MacGyver still avoided guns, but now had a whole team, including hacker Riley, muscleman Bozer, and the ever-resourceful Maddie as his boss. It added a serialized narrative and an emotional depth, particularly in exploring MacGyver's relationship with his estranged father. The show ran for 5 seasons and introduced the character to a new generation. While it didn't quite capture the original's cultural fire, it held to its own in a crowded TV landscape and paid respectful homage to the legacy. Richard Dean Anderson declined to cameo, choosing to preserve the character's original mystique, though he gave the reboot his blessing. Part of the original show's magic was Richard Dean Anderson himself, known for his easygoing demeanor and dry humor. Anderson became synonymous with the character. After MacGyver, he went on to star in Stargate SG-1, another hit series where he played a similarly likable, brainy action hero. Off-screen, Anderson has been involved in environmental and in wildlife causes. He supported Sea Shepherd and worked with various conservation groups. Despite his fame, he remained grounded, even poking fun at his own legacy. He declined to reappear in the reboot, saying he wanted to leave the original untouched. Fans continue to adore him, and he remains a frequent guest at conventions and fan events, always ready to flash that MacGyver smile. He remains grateful to the fanbase and often speaks about the responsibility he felt portraying such a morally upright character. Today, the MacGyver ethos feels more relevant than ever. In a world of sustainability, DIY culture, and innovation, MacGyver's belief in resourcefulness is practically a lifestyle brand. YouTubers create MacGyver-style inventions. Escape rooms borrow his logic puzzle approach, and STEM programs invoke his spirit to inspire future engineers and scientists. Even beyond entertainment, the mindset of solving problems with creativity, with what's available, is something that resonates with everyone from mechanics to startup founders to astronauts on the ISS. Even NASA engineers have referred to MacGyver-like ingenuity when improvising fixes in space. Educational institutions have hosted MacGyver challenges. Companies like 3M have used the MacGyver brand to promote science initiatives. And in 2016, The MacGyver Secret, a book blending creativity, problem-solving, and personal development, was released. So what made MacGyver stick to the collective consciousness like glue from a makeshift duct tape repair job? Well, he was a hero anyone could aspire to be. He made intelligence and compassion cool. He reminded us that science can be thrilling, and he always found a way out. Few shows can claim to have changed language, inspired careers, and entertained millions while doing it all without a single gunshot. MacGyver did all that and more. He wasn't just a character, he was a mindset. So the next time you're in a jam starring a broken appliance or a jammed door, just ask yourself, what would MacGyver do? And remember, if you've got a paperclip and a little ingenuity, anything is possible. Thanks for watching. What topics in history have you wondered about? Comment below and let us know what videos you would like to see. And be sure to like and subscribe.